Hey Fiends, DonnaJean here. I'm still at the Pop Rock and New Year's Evil convention, and I am sitting with Felissa Rose.
Hi.
And what a delightful day this is, because I've had the good fortune to talk to so many people about Terrifier 2, and I will continue to do that in a moment. But you probably would know Felissa from Sleepaway Camp. And if we could start out by that.
Yeah.
It's amazed me, and I never had the opportunity to ask you, how was it filming such a film when you were 13?
I was 13, yeah. It was the most joyful experience I've ever had, really, in my life. I always say, aside from my 3 children, it's brought me so much wonderfulness. And I think at the time I was just excited to, act, because I wanted to be an actress. And it was like going to summer camp with all these wonderful little kids my age. And we just had a great time, and we're still really close, the cast and myself. And I don't know, I always say Sleepaway Camp gave me a life. It's sort of been the fabric of everything. Like, my husband was a huge fan, that's how we met. And just, being here, like at horror conventions and all the movies that I make are because really the beginning was Sleepaway Camp.
Well, you've become one of the scream queens. You're right up there.
Thank you.
When I think people think of horror, people at least of our interesting and weird horror family, you're right up there. And you had the opportunity to return to the character. And so how was that, kind of walking in with adult shoes in those shoes?
Exactly, even greater, because being a child, the lens was totally different. I was young, my mom was there. You just it was my first film.
Right.
So coming back 20 some odd years later with some of the original cast, Jonathan Tiersten, Paul D'Angelo, Robert Hiltzik, certainly the writer-director, Tom Vandell, was a greater experience because my life was bigger and broader, and I was very much involved in the casting and crew, setting up the crew. So I felt like it was Sleepaway Camp by times a million. I got to party. I couldn't do that at 13. It was always like, party in my cabin. So it was just a bigger experience, and I loved the character. No matter what anyone says about the movie, I know people have a lot to say about it, which is good. We make these movies, and even just having people talk about it is wonderful. It's art. We throw it out there.
Even if it opens up discussion.
Even if it opens up discussion, I'm certainly fine with good, bad, or otherwise.
Right.
Well,
it was really ahead of its time, because what it was talking about is something that is so relevant in the days that we live in, even politically.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of interesting and strange to me that it's turned political, but
that's very interesting.
But it was really ahead of its time, because it kind of makes people who wouldn't otherwise think about it consider their biases.
Yeah, that's so true. So true.
So Angela's a hero.
She's definitely a love for me. I love the character, and I feel so honored that I was able to play her, and I'm glad people embrace the film. Even now, it's 38 years later. So
and
a long time ago.
When you do the Sleepaway Camp face,
yes,
you look the same. How do you do that?
You're too sweet. It's just amazing that I think I marvel at the fact that all of these years later I can come to a convention and have so many wonderful friends and meet so many great people because of that film. It's always it definitely, I get very emotional talking about it, which I've just come to terms with, because it's just such a happy part of my life.
And you've had the good fortune since then. You've worked with a number of the other masters in the genre. One of my own heroes as well, Kane Hodder.
Oh,
and speaking of Kane Hodder, you do play a crazy woman really well.
And
and that's the farthest thing. And if you ever have a chance to meet Felissa Rose, please do. She exudes light when you're around her.
Oh,
And,
as do you, DonnaJean. You're such a beautiful person. I'm so fortunate to have met you, and our discussion yesterday was brilliant. Thank you.
Oh, thank
So
you.
great.
Thank you. I'm going to get all sidetracked. I'm going to be teary-eyed and like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I want to stay with you forever.
Yeah.
But I was thinking one other thing. It seems as though in a couple of your films, from the beginning, Sleepaway Camp, you've worked with prosthetics.
Yes.
So, and that had to be pretty interesting and fascinating when you were young, because the famous last Sleepaway Camp scene, clearly that was not you.
No. Great mask made by the incredible Ed French, one of the masters. His special effects work is just spectacular. And I was lucky to work with him at such a young age in my first film. And the mask is, created. I had to make it like paper thin because it had to go over the boy's face, spoilers, and just fit so perfectly so that the close-ups are my face, but the long shot is the boy, and it had to look identical, and his work is magical. But yeah, it was really fun for me, and ever since then I've done so much work. Even in a film called Garlic and Gunpowder, I play a 500-pound woman, and they created, Roy at Soda Effects created this marvelous body outfit for me and facial work, and I love that. I'm more comfortable in the blood, the gore, the makeup, the prosthetics. I feel more at home than playing like me, seeing my face.
Well,
it's
in a
more
way, that would be
interesting.
part of the play.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so much more interesting to portray, really kind of immerse yourself into the body of a different person completely. As an actor, it's definitely challenging.
Without spoilers, and since I keep bringing up Terrifier 2 all weekend, so do you get to use any prosthetics there?
I do not, but certainly I just have to tell everyone, and everyone already knows this, how incredible Damien Leone is. I mean, he is a master. He's on his way to having created one of the most iconic characters, Art the Clown, portrayed by David Howard Thornton, who is now one of the greats. Definitely, I became such a fan. I become so silly at conventions. When I see people that I'm massively in love with and love their work, I just freak out, and I become a stalker. So I stalked Adam Green so I could be in one of the Hatchet movies. I stalked Damien so I could be in Terrifier 2 because I love their work. And when you love someone's work and it becomes your dream, I can't contain myself. So I'm so grateful to be a part of that film. And
I can't
another
wait to
crazy
see it.
character.
Exactly. Why is that not a surprise? You do that so well.
I don't know. So fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
And please follow Felissa's work, and whenever I at all can, I'm going to post it on our site, the Horror Convention and Event Group. And we will see you there, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.